Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I'm Nicole Walters, Director of Bespoke Architects, and I'm about to show you what inspiring architectural images made our Pinterest boards today. There was a strong mix of both commercial and residential in the inspo today. So let's just start with this little restaurant here. Now, the image that caught my eye on the newsletters this morning was this one. I was really intrigued to see what that roof structure was. I could see that it was open and it was above an outdoor dining section, which I really liked. I've actually pinned this on our architectural form sloping site board if you're looking for it. And here is a view of it from obviously the lower terraced level of the car parking. We can see the entry stairs leading up from that car parking zone. And we've got a better shot here looking through that open sort of timber beam structure that is the outdoor dining area. And then we see that continue through the indoor dining area, and then on top of that they've put their solid roof material. So I just really like that. It's kind of a unique, different way to use timber and to express structure and make it interesting. So that's why that is on the Pinterest board today. The next project that we come across is the Eco Houses. I just really liked the composition of the different forms in that sort of natural landscape. And I really like the way that the grey shingle cladding that's on the walls is also the roof material. So that's why that one is on our board today. It's on Architectural Forms Asymmetrical Roof. This pin has landed on our materials board. I do like a burnt timber cladding, and I particularly like the way they've mixed it here with their ribbed metal wall cladding. We would call that custom orb here in Australia. So I really just like that colour combination and the texture combination in that. That's why it's on our Pinterest boards today. This image here, I just really liked the gate of this project. I'm just seeing if there was more from this project, and there is. That's it over there. So this is the fence, and you can see they've created sort of like a really deep shroud, if you will, through that solid fence leading into the courtyard, but it's quite a nice mesh. It's open and it's painted yellow, which is quite inviting. And then we find a door in that same project with the same sort of metal shroud leading you in. It's got a grey tile this time and a grey solid door. And even just the contrast between how uninviting that looks and how inviting that looks, and that is all about colour and material that makes that change. Otherwise, it's the same detail. It's the same shroud. It's the same sort of walk up to the door, but the difference in material, transparency, and the colours really make a difference on inviting and uninviting. From that house, I also really enjoyed the bath. So this is obviously a set down bath, more of a soaking tub, I guess, and I really liked that. The next little project that caught my eye, the detailing in this solid fence was just incredible. I really like the way they'd sort of integrated this sculptural element to that fence. It wasn't just a straight plain fence, so that's why it's on our landscape elements fencing board today. From that same project, I found the staircase really interesting. These solid blade walls that the stairs are spanning across rather than an exposed steel stringer. I thought that was really lovely. I also quite enjoy the fineness of that balustrade wrapping around that staircase. Here's an image of that property from the outside. We can see that sort of fence detail from further away. And I just really like the way they'd cantilevered that first floor out over that entry and expressed it with these really nice columns here at the front. And then the contrast in materials was lovely. The Uber Shed 2, I just thought that was a wonderful idea for car parking. And so it's on our car parking board. And it's just the fact that they're not standard roller doors. They have introduced some nice feature, slat timber. And not only is it the door, it actually becomes the divider between those structural bays as well. So I just thought that was a really lovely use of materials for what is essentially just car storage. And from that same project, the outdoor bath. And I just really liked the way that is sitting on the landscape there. It is sitting on the deck. It's not the type of bath that you're going to notice if it is getting a bit grimy from weather, because it is fully exposed. And that shower above, just the material palette and the location was gorgeous on that. What else do we have today? Oh, the container house. Now, this was gorgeous. What caught my eye was this image here, where we've sort of got a dividing central wall and then two open bays, assumably concealed sliders that are back behind the solid. And then the way they've sort of run this screening material that we see in this image and then spaced it out across that opening and then created the opening itself. I just really like the treatment of the facade. Also the uplighting from the ground up between each one of those individual ribs. It's quite luxurious in that regard. The kitchen was something else I really enjoyed. I liked, this is their island bench. It cantilevers out that sort of steel, but sort of expresses the outside again on the inside. But what I found incredible was their kitchen sink. If you can see in this image here, there's a lift up panel, and underneath it is this sink, and then the tap lifts up and turns around. It's almost like a caravan sink. So I just found that particular ingenuity quite interesting and definitely worth putting on the boards. Also from that house was their landscaping, just that beautiful curved seat in that courtyard, and then the softening of the solid wall with these taller bamboo pieces was really lovely. This image for the inside, it was this wall light here that caught my eye. I mean, the soft furnishings in this are divine anyway. And then we see this diffused LED strip light running down sort of beside the passage, defining that was quite nice as well. So that one's on our lighting board. And then this image from their bathroom, I really enjoyed the vanity, the way it's sort of, how to describe it. So the vanity basin itself is expressed as a separate element and a vertical element to hide the plumbing, obviously. And then we've got these contrasting blonde timber horizontal elements that form the storage. And then this really beautiful sort of horizontal mirror with these soft curves on the edge. And again, I think it's the blonde timber around that as well. So it just all ties together beautifully. So that was a beautiful little house. This little back bay brownstone, it was just the soft furnishings within that living space. And it's sort of, you can see by the placement of the furniture for this shot, it's created these sort of, I guess what you would traditionally think of as an old school parlor, where you can sort of have groups of smaller people sitting in one bigger room having sort of separate conversations. I really liked that. And from that same project, just this image here of the day bed with this beautiful side table like leaf, and then there's exquisite light fitting above. I mean, it just felt like a really beautiful place to sort of relax and read a book. So that's why that is on the board. And then this fireplace here in this project, it just really caught my eye, the fact that they'd sort of put it on the end of this dividing wall between what is assumably two different spaces. We can see there that it is in fact a dining room, a living space. And then we've got the wood fire at the end creating that sort of transition. And then assumably, I'm going to say a dining room on this side. Interestingly, that looks like it might be wood storage that might go all the way through that wall. But it's interesting that nobody's sort of looking directly at the fire. The fire isn't the feature of the room, it's a divider. Interesting. You know, it could have been done as a double-sided fireplace that faced one space and the other, or a triple-sided fireplace that, you know, faced the two rooms plus the end. So it was an interesting design decision to do that. And that's why it's made our fireplace board today. And then second last image here, just that, again, we've got a sloping site, ground floor sort of submerged underneath there, and then we have this upper story, and the two stories are a different material. We saw this yesterday, where you've got your really solid fortified material at ground level, and then this sort of, even though it's heavy and there's no openings except for at the end, it still feels lighter due to the choice of material than the ground floor does. And I just really like that shape within the landscape. That's a beautiful image. We can see the soft curve in the landscaping referencing the soft curve of that roof line. So that's just a beautiful image. And then finally for today, this one, the ground floor of this Japanese home is a public library. And just the way that they'd chosen to display the books along the edges, and then they have what looks like a little pond with no water in it in the center, which is obviously where you sit and read your books. So I just thought that was lovely. And that was all the inspiring images that came through overnight. We will finish today again with Bespoke Bespoke House number 4 Golf Course House. I should learn how to say that. And today we can see an image of that courtyard within that dwelling. This wing over here being the open plan dining, kitchen, living. This wing here is the master suite, and in the middle we have the guest bedroom, bathroom, and third bedroom come study. So that is a beautiful little project. We can see that it's on a couple of different layers here with the exposed cantilevered concrete floors. Just a really lovely project to check out. It is getting loaded up daily on Pinterest. You will find more information on this house and all our work on our website, as well as the YouTube's on video. So the videos on YouTube, I should say. So thank you so much for joining me again. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and sharing with you all the inspiring architectural images with you. Thanks so much. Bye.